Welcome, travelers and seekers of alchemy. 26th, or the 26th hexagram in the I Ching. The domain of pride, artfulness, and invisibility. But this is no casual exploration. This is an ancient path from the dark to divine trickster, where the ego dances with grace and the need to be seen obscures the power of quiet service. Let's walk together down this path, not to fix ourselves, but to understand the design of this challenge. First, I'll start with a parable, which is in regards to the invisible thread. At this point, please close your eyes and visualize the story I am about to share. There was once a kingdom of makers. Each person was trained to craft something: tools, garments, food, stories. Their value in the village was measured by how visible their work became. The more their gifts were recognized, the more they were celebrated. And then there was a weaver. He lived at the village's edge, mending threads of garments no one noticed. He would fix broken seams at night, because if the thread boasts of the fabric it holds, it forgets that it was never the design, only the grace that held it together. But the village over time forgot him, until a day came when the great storm tore their roads and bridges. And only the invisible thread, the unseen repairs he had made, held everything together. Only then did they understand. There is a power that does not need to be seen to shape the world. This is the gift and the burden of this specific 26th evolutionary pattern of change. The challenge of this pattern: pride, power, and the need to be seen. This challenge lives at a unique intersection of biological survival and spiritual service. It is encoded with an evolutionary fear, the fear of irrelevance, invisibility, and powerlessness. And this fear breeds the shadow, pride. Not always loud or arrogant, sometimes pride whispers, quote, "They won't love me unless I impress them. I must be useful or I'll be discarded." And or, "Let me control how they see me just to stay safe." The shadow has two faces. Its repressive is subtle manipulation, offering help but with hidden strings. The reactive, boastfulness, forces validation through image, dominance, and intellect. Both come from the same root, a deep-seated belief that visibility equals survival. But the irony? The more we grasp at validation, the more we lose our true power. The shadow of pride has a complementary shadow that it dances with, and that's the shadow of dominance and its fear of lack. Its repressive nature is timid, and its reactive nature is pompous. So you can see how the two feed off each other and complement. For those interested in doing deeper personal alchemy and wish to have a means of accelerating an understanding of shadow work, over the last 3 to 5 years, I have collected a wealth of information from various esoteric systems, namely the I Ching, human design, gene keys, the chakra systems, and astrology, as well as integrating them with the human genetic code. And in this chart, you will find the details of all the different shadows, all the different fears, the specific fears that fuel those specific shadows, all 64, all in relationship to each codon. And in this wheel, you will find 4 legends on each corner because they can't all fit on one corner or one side to make it a nice, evenly balanced square. So here is the statements from each zodiac sign, so you can see. And then we have the legend for each chakra. You'll notice that there are more than 7, and because There are more than seven because it is including the spleen as a means to detect threats. So there's an intuitional center there. There's also a center of willpower called the thyroid, because when we are born, the thyroid is literally almost, if not as big as our heart. So we have to accommodate that. And on the other side of this, you will also find an understanding of the I Ching, hexagram system, the different trigrams, the relationship to the three-dimensional plane, the yin and the yang, and how each of the six lines are affiliated with different archetypes, thanks to the human design and or gene key system. And lastly, you will also find the human genetic sequence chart for all the amino acids associated with the human genetic code. But furthermore, you will also find in this chart all the different zodiacs, all 12, mixed with the human design gene key chart. Bear with me, my graphics card is not as fast as other people's on their computer, but you will see all the different fears, all the different shadows, and how they relate to each chakra in those colorful little dots. So you can see how it affects each energy center in the body and how each of them have their own repressive and reactive statements because there are six expressions in each challenge. Therefore, you will also find those six lines in there, all with their own repressive and reactive statements, their associated dilemmas from that specific shadow, which eventually will clear up, the gift from making the right choices regularly and practicing that gift with its own unique self-empowerment statement. So as you learn to vacate the trapped emotions such as sadness, fear, anger, shame, and guilt, and you reorient towards true self-alignment and honoring the intuition and inner authority that you possess, it will lead you towards the grace specific to that challenge. So if you would like to learn more about this and or you would like to download this file for your own personal means of translating your specific challenges in the human design system or in the gene key system, it is all there for you. All you have to go is to my website and download this PDF file. It's about 50 megabytes in size. I hope you enjoy this and hope you enjoy this brief glimpse into this massive PDF with all the details about all the specific challenges you'll have in your personal self-realization path. In order to find this PDF, a link will be found down below in the description of the YouTube video. When using that elaborate and vast chart of information, you can use the human design apps found in the App Store on Google Play so that you can choose whichever speaks to you most. And as you choose whichever human design app works best for you, you can then use that towards the chart. So you get your information and your numbers. And then after that, you can use the chart as reference. For example, I use the human design app, which helps me see the specific numbers that I need to see in the top right-hand corner. The red are the unconscious. These are the ones that were imprinted when the soul decided to remain anchored in the body about 90 days before you were born, between the second and the third trimester. The black numbers indicate the conscious, more aware challenges that you know you have in your current life, based on your survival challenges and your adversities currently going on in your life. You can also find that same application in the Human Design App Store for iPhone and or iOS before you start using the chart that you have purchased online. Thank you very much. And if you ever need more information on this and you wanted a free consultation in understanding the current challenges in your life and how it relates to human design, feel free to reach out through the links below. You can also visit thegenekeys.com. There, you will also find a different kind of chart. It relates to the same challenges and same numerical sequences as found in the I Ching and Human Design. And there you'll be able to find a free profile link where you can then enter in your personal information in this field and then have a look at your specific gene key profiles and understand your genus sequence, your Venus sequence in opening up your heart, your love sequence, prosperity, and finding inner harmony. Thank you for watching this short introduction into the wheel of evolutionary change and the chart that I've shown you in brief. And hopefully through those apps and through this PDF, you will find a way to decode the challenges you face and understand how to make the best choices for you and everyone you were meant to impact positively in your life. Now back to the shadow work and the evolutionary change in this video. Why this shadow exists and its evolutionary function. This shadow wasn't born to punish us. It was built into the DNA as a survival mechanism. In our tribal past, being seen meant safety. Influence meant access. Recognition meant food, mating, and protection. Our nervous system still remembers. But now, in the age of spiritual evolution, where consciousness is expanding from ego to essence, this once useful program becomes the trap. This 26th evolutionary pattern of change is one of the trickster paths. Its shadow tricks us into believing that our worth lies in applause, status, control of outcomes, and validation from the tribe. But the truth, we were never designed to be a billboard. We were born to mirror a quiet channel for grace. And until the shadow of pride humbles itself, until the ego burns off its need to be seen, the soul remains bound. The gift awaiting at the end of this path lies the grace of invisibility. This is not obscurity, it is not hiding, it's transcendence. To become invisible is to become egoless. You act, you serve, you love, with no desire to be seen doing so. You become the thread in the story of others, not for praise, not for power, but for grace. If you're watching this, perhaps you lived in the shadow of pride or felt the ache of being unseen, despite your efforts. This is your reminder. You are not here to prove, you are here to serve. And your service that flows from love, not fear, becomes the quiet architecture of miracles. You don't need to be seen, you need to be real. The world will feel you, whether or not it sees you. So begin the path, not to fix yourself, but to remember who you were before the performance began. In this 26th challenge is not your burden, it's your refinement. Thank you for walking this first step with me. I personally have this challenge in my chart. And from what I recall throughout most of my life, all those clients and customers I've ever served, I've always listened to first and foremost their needs. I listened to their wants, but I focused on their needs. Because in the end, when you truly know what the person needs deep inside, and you provide that product or service that delivers it, and they see your genuine nature of trying to help them, you can trust that one day they'll accept your service and your product, the positive impact that it makes on their lives. And when they see that impact, they will share how you help them thrive. And they will share their story with others that need similar service and or product. Those who you seek to serve are also seeking you. So trust and don't worry about making those millions or becoming a great influence on the world and being recognized for it. Christ did the same thing a long time ago. He performed the miracles and then left the space, because in the end he could trust that the person who was given the miracle, who was truly grateful, will remember who helped them and share their story of healing and miracle with others. And those others will want to find out where you are. But in the end, you'll continue to serve your miracles, knowing that your legacy of service will live on well beyond your years. Thank you for watching this video in its entirety. You can also comment below on what time in your life did you just do something for someone's sake, not worrying about whether you're going to be recognized for it. You just did it because you wanted to, because you were inspired to, and you didn't need anything in return. But in the end, what happened was people venerated what you did. They appreciated you and they held you in high esteem because of it. Down below in the description, you'll also find an email link for a free 45-minute consultation. Then you'll find a link to my website, which will provide you with some understanding of what I do and who I'm here to serve. Beyond that, you'll also find links to meetup groups, where I host a meetup group called Divination Systems, which talks more about this in depth, emotional intelligence and mastery, so we can understand the complementary power that emotions can bring to our full self-realization as opposed to our suffering. And my emotional trauma release group, where I provide a space for people to feel safe, allowing their feelings and their emotions to rise and emerge from those depths, to be released and appreciated for the questions they had to bring, so we can make better decisions moving forward. And where we vacate what no longer serves us to hold on to, we can then put in place what does. God bless you all. Namaste, and good life to you all as well.